born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes. All right. Welcome, athletes, into the gym closet. We are here with Major Butch Frost. You may recognize him from the last one. I know said we weren't going to talk to him, but if you've seen him before, we have a lot of new things. It's a new year, a new season, and as you know, this season, Live to Lift, we work with the Salvation Army and as our power partner. So thank you all for anybody who dropped off the presents for the angel. Is it called the angel tree? Is that
yes,
officially? Tree. Okay.
Yep.
So for the angel tree, I think we had 50 at each location and then had to ask for more.
Walkie had asked like 3 times for tags.
Yeah. So cool. it is awesome. I think we've had 4 or 5 different pickups that, all of the tables and everything was full at either one of the gyms. So huge shout out to all the athletes that participated in that. We have a couple more events coming up and we'll talk about that, but welcome into the gym closet.
Yes, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
It's kind of the name's still the same, but it's not technically a gym closet anymore.
No, and it's a little bigger than a closet actually compared to the last room I sat in with.
Yeah. Last time we were real close, real tight knit when we were in the old gym closet, but now we upgraded a little bit, have a little bit more room, especially for our guests to feel comfortable and not crammed into a little back closet into the gym.
And you said you've been doing interviews all morning.
All morning.
So thanks for making time for us.
Hey,
we really appreciate it. So thank
blessing.
you. Yes.
You're welcome.
So you said you were live on the news here. Was that today or recently?
Yeah, that was this
okay.
morning. No, I actually had to be at the building at 4:15 this morning.
Ooh.
Because they also want to broadcast live from our new mobile social service unit.
Oh, okay,
and
sure.
the bus. And so I had to have it up and running so it was nice and warm and everything was up and going on it. So I had to get there about 4:15 because it takes like 15, 20 minutes for that tank to get
I bet.
actually
sure.
warmed up and going. And then we started right at 5 o'clock with WHO 13 and we've been going nonstop.
Wow.
Tell us a little bit about that bus. So you said that's new. What does that do as far as the service goes?
Well, my wife and I tend to come up with, we like to think, ingenious ideas. And, of course, our staff kind of gives us that look when we say, hey, we got a new idea.
Oh, sure.
And we thought, hey, we're seeing a lot of social services be done out of our facilities. But what about the rural communities? What about the parts of Polk County that's not getting touched? How can we go touch those areas? So the first thought was, let's get a mobile unit and have a food pantry. Then the next thought was, let's go further than that. There are other agencies already doing mobile food pantries.
Sure.
So let's do a full-fledged mobile social service unit. So I said to our development person, I said, Tamara, hey, why don't you ask DART if they'd ever considered donating one of their buses to us?
Okay,
and I kid you not,
That's amazing.
I've asked for a lot of things in 27 years of Salvation Army officership, but I've never had a bus dropped in my lap within 24 hours.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
That's
And
incredible.
that's how fast this whole thing moved. So we literally took this bus and totally gutted it, put in shelving units. So not only do we have food in there, we have personal hygiene items in there. We have laundry detergent that's in there. We have cleaning supplies. You name it, we have it on this bus. We even have refrigerated and freezer units that are on this bus. And when the bus isn't moving, it stays plugged in so that all the units can keep working. We don't have to load and unload all the supplies. And then working through DART and their person that wraps their bus, they wrapped our bus for us, and so it's all 100%
That's
Salvation Army wrap.
amazing.
That's awesome.
So we literally go throughout Polk County. We have a place up on 14th Street, especially that we park one day a month, and then we're out in Redfield and DeSoto. We're over in Indianola. We're looking to expand over to Perry. This bus only goes out one day a week, but our goal is to get it out more than that as funding is available and that we can get out and get communities to need us to come to them as
Yeah,
well.
Sure.
That's awesome. So where do you host it at? Where's it parked at?
It's parked at our office in Clive.
Okay, so we'll be able to see it when we come?
Definitely
to,
come.
Awesome.
Ask us.
Awesome.
We'll show you
That's
through the
cool.
bus. It is the coolest thing. It's 100% community supported. No government funds or grants. We had quite a few sponsors that got behind us that gave us the money to redo the bus inside and out, and it's just been great. DART gave us a great bus in great condition. It's handicap accessible. So the
Awesome.
front ramp on the front is comes down. Somebody can come up. We left the space down the aisle so that somebody can go all the way down to the step. Then our staff, our volunteers are on there, and they help them. We have one caseworker that's on the bus every time it goes out so that we make sure we meet everybody's needs. We actually have volunteers for this bus, volunteer drivers for the bus.
Okay.
That's
And
what
it
I was going to
started
ask you. I was like, so do you drive this bus? Did you have to get your driver's permit to drive a bus? Or?
I actually already had mine.
Okay.
So when we first got the bus, I was the only driver, and I have to admit, I was a little nervous that I was going to be stuck driving the bus all the time,
Right.
and I got many other tasks that I have to do.
Yep.
So the first couple of rounds, I did get to go out on it, but then, believe it or not, that day that we did a dedication of the bus, unveiling of the bus, 2 guys, retired truck drivers, showed up.
Perfect.
One definitely showed up, and he's been driving our bus ever since. Every Monday it goes out. He takes care of it. I don't have to
Oh
do
my
anything
gosh.
That's
with this
Wonderful.
bus. You know, the only downside to this bus, and I joke about this
Mm-hmm.
because it's absolutely hilarious. I have been yelled at by many people standing on the corner waiting for the bus because when I pulled up with it, I didn't open the door and let them on.
Oh, shoot.
Because it's a city bus.
It's a
Sure.
And you know, there are DART buses wrapped all over town by Hy-Vee and so many different
Right.
businesses. So they're just thinking it's just a bus wrapped in the Salvation Army logo. And I mean, literally, a few of them have said a few choice words at me because I
I
didn't open the
bet.
door.
Sure,
But,
yeah.
you know, so now
Shoot.
when you drive down the road, you try to stay in the center lane
Sure.
until you actually have to get in the right
So
lane
then
to
they
make
know
a
they're
turn.
not-
Yeah, so that you know it's not stopping.
Strategic driving.
Yes,
I like that.
that's
yeah.
what it. But you know, this bus is making an impact on
That's
communities,
awesome.
especially the rural area that people don't think about. I mean, now granted, I give kudos to these rural areas because there are a few small pantries in there. But what we're doing is, and the communities have been wide open to let us in, is we're not just doing food. We're doing all the other things, but we're also doing social services. We're offering help with rent, utilities, prescription. When we have the funding, we offer it. And all of these communities are taking advantage of it because they have individuals there that can't make it into Polk County.
Right.
And
Sure.
there's
Right.
a lot of them there that don't offer it. So what we're doing is we're taking this bus and going into these communities, and we're letting our donors know, folks know that are listening to this podcast right now even, that, hey, you know, when you make a donation, you're not only impacting Polk County, but you're impacting Dallas and Warren County as well.
Sure.
We service Guthrie, but we're not, we service Story County. We're not heading that way yet because we have a service office there. But Guthrie County and a couple of the other counties have already reached out and said, hey, would you come our
Interested.
direction as well?
That's
Sure.
awesome.
So, you know, it's a brand new
you might
idea.
need a few more buses at this rate.
Right.
You know, that's the one question I get. How many more buses are you going to bring in the fleet? Now, we're starting with one bus.
One bus,
Yep.
right.
And if it grows, then we will consider, you know, that down the road.
Opportunities,
But
yep.
right now, it's only one day a week. So we
Yep.
can
Sure.
actually expand the days that we're out. And we have a second driver waiting now that's ready to start driving for us as well. So it's a great opportunity to serve people that are in need. And
That's
it makes
awesome.
an impact.
Yeah. And it
Definitely.
sounds like it was a good idea by you and your wife.
It's definitely a good idea, but the team actually brought it together. And so, you know, in the last, my wife and I have been here now 17 months. And in 17 months, we've expanded services throughout the community. God's really opened some amazing doors. Last year we got here, we just got into our office in Clive, and now we've
Yep.
officially owned that facility.
Awesome.
Then
Awesome.
we've added a bus to the program, and now we're just starting to look at, okay, what else can we do? First, we're going to get through Christmas. Everybody told
Yeah.
me I can't
Sure.
say anything until Christmas
Right.
is
Yes,
over.
yes.
That's probably
Which
a good
the Clive
idea.
location, it's a beautiful facility too. That is a nice place.
Definitely.
So
And
when I went in
speaking
there last year,
Speaking of the Clive, we have an event coming up. What's the dates on the event?
Tuesday, December 20th,
Tuesday, December 20th from 8 to 3 or
3
4,
or 4,
whenever we get
yep,
done.
whenever.
Yeah. So for all of our athletes that are interested in doing that, I know we have several people signed up. But what we're doing is a chunk of a couple hours, so 2 hours at least. You probably won't kick anyone out if they want to stay more than 2 hours, I believe. But we're saying 2 hours. Sign up for those time slots so that we can get them the details of when you're there, just to keep everything organized. But the sign up sheets are at both locations and ready to go. So if you are interested, on the 20th,
This
it's
Tuesday
a
already, yeah.
Tuesday.
1 week from today.
That's it.
Yes.
One
so,
week from today. It's fun, you guys. It's very humbling. It's a awesome experience, I think. makes
Talk
you
a little
feel
bit,
good. For
Talk a
sure
little
when
bit
you leave.
about what we call it tend the toys in our event calendar, but what is it officially over with you
It's
guys?
our toy shop,
Toy
Salvation
shop,
Army's
okay.
Toy Shop, and basically we're expecting over 2,100 kids to come through. Now the kids will not come through, but their parents come through.
Sure.
And they come in the front entrance, and then we connect them with a volunteer. Volunteer will take a clipboard. This is how many kids they get, their ages, with the big red bag, and they walk through with the parent, maybe even the grandparent, depending on who has custody of the children.
Sure.
Walk them through and get at least 2 gifts per child. We try to have board games if we do for each of the families. We have stocking stuffer bags that are ready, so they get that bag, and we literally just bring them through. And it is, you said the word right, it's humbling. I've been doing this 27 years, and every year I'm humbled by doing it because of the stories that I hear and the impact that it makes upon families.
Yeah, and families are appreciative of it. You know, there's never a family that comes in that is not. So they know it's a really good thing that you guys are doing, and they're thankful for it for sure.
Yeah, and we work real closely with Fairway Foods. We give each family a $30 gift card to where they can go up and at least get the basics.
Sure.
The gift card they get, focuses only on food. That's all they could use it for. So we encourage the families to take that card and go get some of the basics. And in fact, the Pork Association just gave us $510 gift cards.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh,
awesome.
And
that's
so that's
amazing.
going to make a major impact on some families. At least 500 of the families come through, and that $10 is going to help a little bit more. You take that with you up to Fairway gift card,
Awesome.
Fairway, and be
Sure.
able to get everything that you need for a Christmas lunch.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
awesome. And yeah, so we've done this for several years now. I think we've helped out 4 or 5, maybe 2018, 5 years.
Yeah.
I think is when the Krave athletes, had the opportunity to do it, and it is such a great experience going in there and actually seeing. There's one thing with the angel tree and being able to see drop off the toys, and we appreciate everybody there too. But it's another thing to see who actually picks those up and kind of connecting the dots between tending the toys that we brought that really kind of hits home too. So it's a really cool opportunity. So that is next Tuesday. Sign up for that. What else? I'm sure this season's crazy busy for you. I'm sure that you have everything else going on, but what other things do we have going on with the Salvation Army here for the rest of this year and into next year?
Well, right now we have just a lot of bell ringing going on. Always in need of bell
Definitely.
ringings, doing the funding, fund collecting. The money that we raise this time of year gets us through the next year. And our Christmas goal this year is $1.3 million. And as of about an hour ago, we're about $73,000 behind where we were this time last year.
Okay.
So
All right.
just a little bit nervous about that because it does make an impact on everything that we do throughout the next calendar year.
Right.
So
Definitely.
Right.
it's a double thing there where we're collecting toys and we're making sure all the families take care of Christmas. But then the second piece is for next year, funding
Right.
all of our programs. And right now we're just really, we're in the process of doing a strategic plan for the next 3 years. Where do we see the Salvation Army in 3 years? What do we see that we can accomplish? There's been many things that we've discussed. One of the biggest things is a transitional housing program for men that get out of our adult rehabilitation center downtown. Men
Sure.
that go there to get off drugs, alcohol, whatever the case might be. When they get out of there, some of those men have nowhere to go.
Right.
So the thing that we're seeing is some of them relapse.
Right, because they go
And-
back into those bad situations they were in, or
Yep.
because there's no other choice.
Yeah,
probably.
they go back to where they were living before, thinking I can do this because I'm off the stuff, and then 6 months down the road, we see
Yep.
them back in our program. So one of the things we really want to look at is, can we start a transitional housing program where the men getting out of that program, we can bring them into this housing and be able to say, for the next 2 years, you're going to live here. Here's what your rent's going to be, but you're going to work with us. We're going to be there to encourage you and support you and to help you through the steps. We also want to reach out to our veterans. We want to find a way that veterans that are struggling, there's not enough housing for veterans and for homeless people. So what can we do to make that happen? Now, I'm one of these guys that I get antsy and I want to see it happen now.
Sure.
It's kind of like that commercial, it's my money and I want it now.
Now, yeah,
I
yeah.
see this program and I want it to happen now is my
Right.
kind of my slogan
Yep,
at this
yep.
point in life. But we know it's going to take us a few years to get there, but in working with a firm that's going to help us put together this plan and then look at what we need to do to take the next steps is the direction we're heading.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's amazing.
Awesome. And all of those programs year round, like you said, depend a lot on the funding and the things that we're doing this season. So make sure, I know I do this all the time. I walk out and I check my pockets and I'm like, oh crap, I don't have any change or any cash. And that doesn't necessarily matter. So you don't necessarily have to have the cash or the change on you. If you do, great, drop it in the red kettle. But there's also a way to do it digitally, correct, at all of the
every stand
locations.
has a QR code.
Nice.
Just pop on that. And the positive piece that I try to tell a lot of folks is you don't have to give $100 today. You don't have to give $500 today. You could even make a commitment to give $5 a month or $25 a month for the next 12 months.
Sure.
Because it's going to impact people. One thing I want to share with that some of these funds support is sending kids to summer camp. The Salvation Army has a camp in Sioux City, Iowa.
Okay.
Actually, it's Sioux City, Nebraska, right over that line of
Oh,
Iowa.
sure,
They're
sure,
all
yep.
They're
kind of
all
nut
right
right there
there.
together.
South Dakota, Iowa, and Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know that until I moved to Des Moines.
Yep.
But we send kids there. Salvation Army just opened a camp there.
Okay,
and
awesome.
we send kids no charge. They can go to
Nice.
sports camp, music camps, camping camps, to where literally they don't camp in the cabins. They're out in
Sure.
tents next to the lake.
Yep.
So there's a lot of positive.
Which kids
and-
love.
Yeah, definitely.
that.
And then we have youth programs in both of two of our locations here in town. So there's ways kids can get engaged with that. And these funds help take care of all of those programs, let alone all the social services that we offer here in the
Awesome.
community.
So I know, Salvation Army is nationwide, right? So do you guys each state gets to work on your own types of programming and stuff like that? Or do they all come together to like give you ideas on different programming and
Yeah.
ways to help the community? Or is that kind of, do you guys have free reign to kind of do whatever you want?
You can come up with your own ideas. You could also duplicate somebody else's program. If you see somebody's doing this over here and you think, well, that might work here, you could try it here.
Yep.
I mean, it just really varies. We pay really close attention to what others are doing, just to kind of see how it's impacting their community. Or maybe they're doing the same program we are, but they're doing a little different. That's taking the dollar an extra step,
Yes, right.
or whatever the case might be. So we take a look at those. So it's it's a national thing that we
Yep.
kind of look at each other. You try to work together, and our leadership out of the different areas send us information on a regular basis of what we
Nice.
could look at.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because that always helps spark, different conversations and ideas and stuff like that. So that's
So
cool.
with all of our programs as well, Krave has our kettles, our mini kettles, or what do you countertop kettles, whatever they're called. We have those at each one of our locations. So what I've been telling people is when you get to the gym, go ahead and take all of your change that's sitting in your car that's been there for 2 years, bring that in, put it in those kettles, and make a difference for the Salvation Army with and that way it's convenient for you. You're not going out of your way to do anything else. You're just going into the gym, which you'd be there anyway. Grab that change out of your car and go ahead and put it in there. So
I'm going to age myself a little bit, but those are the days when you had an ashtray.
right.
Threw your coin in there.
Yep,
And
yep.
now cars don't have ashtrays.
That's true. You got to
So-
find a spot for your
Yeah.
change.
Exactly.
Yep.
My wife is always yelling at me because she's like, "What are you throwing in there?" And I said, "It's my change. I have nowhere else. I hate change in my pocket."
Yep.
So then when I go somewhere, I can reach down and it used to be for the parking meter. Now you have to do that digitally, so you
Right.
can't even do that.
Yep, you
Yep.
So
can't.
now my grandkids know that the change is in there. Hey, let's go get a candy bar. I know where
Yes.
some
Right.
change is.
Yes, they
Gumballs,
found the
candy bars.
jackpot
That's
to get their candy. I love it. That is awesome. That's how our kids will get out of the car and kind of take a peek where we keep our change, and they'll be like, "Yeah, we'll put it in our
Yeah.
say our
Piggy bank.
for later." So they have that same idea. So anything else we want to finish with? We're like I said, we're working with the Salvation Army every single year at this time. We love working with having Salvation Army as a power partner, and if anybody has any questions or anything, definitely comment below or reach out to any of your coaches at the gyms, and we can answer those questions for you, because we have all of the information from the Salvation Army at our fingertips. But is there anything else that you want to close out with?
I think I would just like to say thank you to both of you and all your members, because last year was my first year doing this, and y'all make a big impact on what we do. The toys that you bring in, and then I wasn't there at the distribution, but my wife told me it was phenomenal having all your members there, the two of you there.
Awesome.
It just really made impact. So, we don't say thank you enough sometimes, and I want to say thank you to both of you and your members.
thank
We
you, guys.
appreciate it. You are truly, truly a blessing, not just to the Salvation Army, but to making sure that no kid goes without a gift this Christmas.
That's awesome.
Well, thank
Yep.
you guys for what you do.
Thank you, athletes, for being such a big part of that and volunteering your time or effort or money or presence, whatever it is that you give. We appreciate that as well. So we're a big team, and that's we can get a lot done if we come together as a team to do these things.
Yes.
So awesome.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Thank you very
so
much
much
for
for your
coming in
time
and
and-
talking to us. And remember, you're an athlete. Live like it.
Born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.